Most of the ice cream sitting in your freezer right now is not actually ice cream. The FDA will not even let some of these brands call it that. And the worst part, you are paying the same price for it. Americans spend over $15 billion a year on ice cream. That is $15 billion flowing into an industry where some of the biggest names on the shelf have quietly swapped real cream for vegetable oil, replaced sugar with corn syrup, and pumped their containers so full of air that you are literally paying for nothing. You pick up a container that looks like ice cream. It feels like ice cream. The branding screams ice cream, but flip it over and the fine print tells a very different story. It says frozen dairy dessert. That is the industry's way of telling you this product failed the test. I spent over 40 hours auditing every major ice cream brand on the shelf to find the truth, and the results were not what I expected. Some of your favorite brands are not even legally allowed to call themselves ice cream anymore. But here's the good news. 3 brands on this list are doing it right, and one of them might actually cost less than the fake stuff. Stay until the end, because the winner shocked me. So here is how they do it. The trick is a term the industry calls overrun. Overrun is the percentage of air that gets pumped into ice cream during production. The more air they pump in, the less actual cream goes into the container. Economy and regular brands operate at 80 to 100% overrun. That means up to half of what you are scooping out of that tub is air. Not cream, not milk, not sugar, air. And the FDA allows it as long as the finished product weighs at least 4.5 pounds per gallon. So the formula is simple. Pump more air, use less cream, sell the same size container at the same price. But air is only half the trick. The real savings come from what they put in instead of cream. Dairy fat, real cream, is one of the most expensive ingredients in ice cream. So corporations replace it with palm kernel oil, coconut oil, and whey protein. Industry estimates suggest that fat substitution alone can cut ingredient costs by 20 to 40%. And when the milk fat drops below 10%, the FDA forces them to change the label. The product can no longer legally be called ice cream. So they quietly relabel it as a frozen dairy dessert. Keep the same packaging, keep the same shelf placement, keep the same price, and hope you never notice. Then comes the chemistry. Instead of letting cream and eggs give ice cream its natural body and texture, they stack emulsifiers and stabilizers. Polysorbate 80, carrageenan, cellulose gum, gar gum, carabine gum, tarragum, mono and diglycerides. These chemicals simulate the mouthfeel of cream for a fraction of the cost. And here is where it gets serious. Studies published in scientific journals have found that emulsifiers like polysorbate 80 and carrageenan can alter gut bacteria, damage the gastrointestinal lining, and trigger inflammation. An international organization for inflammatory bowel diseases advised in 2020 that patients should consider limiting their intake of these exact chemicals. This is not fringe science. This is a logistical magic trick, and your gut is paying the price. Now let us get into the brands. These are 6 ice cream brands you need to stop buying today. Number 6, Breyers. This one hurts because Breyers built its entire reputation on trust. For decades, they marketed themselves as the brand with simple, natural ingredients. The brand your grandmother bought because the commercials told her it was real, but flip the container on their cookies and cream, mint chocolate chip, or butter pecan, and the label does not say ice cream anymore. It says frozen dairy dessert. They swapped cream for corn syrup, whey, and a cocktail of 3 different gums. Carabine gum, gar gum, and tara. Gum plus carrageenan, mono, and diglycerides, and lactase enzyme. The ingredient list that used to have 5 items now has more than 15, and the lawsuits tell the rest of the story. In 2024, Breyers face a class action lawsuit alleging their natural vanilla ice cream contains synthetic vanillin and non-vanilla plant flavors, while marketing it as naturally flavored from real vanilla beans. The settlement? $8.85 million. They charged a premium for the word natural, while the ingredient list told a completely different story. Number 5, Blue Bunny. The playful branding with the smiling bunny mascot makes this look like a family-friendly choice. But read the ingredient list on their homemade vanilla, fructose, mono and diglycerides, carabine gum, cellulose gel, carrageenan, tara gum, xanthan gum, guar gum, maltodextrin. That is at least 5 different gums in a single product. Cream appears far down the ingredient list. While skim milk and whey form the bulk of the base, many Blue Bunny products are classified as frozen dairy desserts, not ice cream. And it gets worse. Their flavored varieties contain artificial colors. Red 40, Blue 1, and Blue 2. Red 40 has been linked to migraines and hyperactivity in adults and children. Their vanilla-flavored products rely on artificial vanilla, which means they cannot even claim real vanilla on the label. The name says homemade. The ingredient list says laboratory. Number 4, Great Value, Walmart's store brand. Great Value technically squeaks past the FDA's 10% milk fat minimum to legally call itself ice cream. But that is where the good news ends. Their home-style vanilla is packaged as vanilla flavored because it does not contain actual vanilla. Flip the label and you will find corn syrup, cellulose gum, carob bean gum, guar gum, polysorbate 80, mono and diglycerides, artificial flavors, artificial colors, and carrageenan. Some products even include sorbitol. The synthetic food dyes create the illusion of flavor intensity without any of the real ingredients. You are paying for corn syrup and stabilizers disguised as ice cream. The price is cheap because the ingredients are cheaper. Number 3, Edie's and Dryers. Same company, different regional branding. Edie's on the East Coast, Dryers on the West Coast. Many of their products are labeled frozen dairy dessert, but the packaging design mimics classic ice cream so closely that most shoppers never notice. They market with phrases like fresh milk and cream and no artificial colors or flavors, while loading products with polysorbate 80, carrageenan, high fructose corn syrup, cellulose gel, cellulose gum, and soybean oil. And the courts have noticed. A class action lawsuit alleged that Dryers and Edie's products labeled all natural flavors actually contained between 1 and 5 artificial or synthetic ingredients. A federal judge allowed the case to proceed. A separate lawsuit targeted their vanilla products for using non-vanilla flavoring while labeling simply as vanilla instead of vanilla flavor. Multiple lawsuits, same pattern. Marketing says one thing, the ingredient list proves another. Number 2, Blue Ribbon Classics. This brand does not even pretend. Most Blue Ribbon Classics products are labeled frozen dairy dessert right on the front. But here is what makes it worse. The primary fat source is not cream. It is palm kernel oil. Palm kernel oil is a leading driver of deforestation and is more commonly found in margarine and shortening than in anything that should be called a frozen dessert. Add in dairy milk solids, high fructose corn syrup, and artificial colors including yellow 5 and blue 1. Yellow 5 has been found to contain carcinogens and is linked to hypersensitivity. And you have a product that is closer to industrial shortening than ice cream. The nostalgic premium feeling packaging design is doing all the heavy lifting. The ingredients inside deserve none of it. Number 1, Friendly's. Friendly's built its name as an East Coast ice cream parlor institution. Families went there for decades, but the packaged tubs you find in the grocery store have drifted far from that scoop shop quality. Flip the label on their chocolate chip cookie dough and you will find high fructose corn syrup, partially hydrogenated soybean oil, corn syrup, mono and diglycerides, soy lecithin, carrageenan, and artificial colors including red 40 and blue 1. Partially hydrogenated oils are a source of artificial trans fats. The same ingredient the FDA has been actively working to eliminate from the food supply because of direct links to heart disease. The parlor nostalgia is real. The ingredients are not. Now before we get to the brands that are actually worth your money, here is how you can audit your own freezer right now. 3 tests. Takes 5 minutes. The melt test. Take 1 scoop of your ice cream and leave it on a plate at room temperature for 30 minutes. Real ice cream melts into a smooth, creamy puddle that looks like melted custard. Fake ice cream. The stuff loaded with emulsifiers and gums holds its shape, foams up, or shrinks into a gummy, sticky blob. If your ice cream looks the same after 30 minutes on the counter, that is not cream holding it together. That is polysorbate 80 and cellulose gum doing the work. The ingredient count test. Flip the container and count the ingredients. Real ice cream has 5 to 8 ingredients. Cream, milk, sugar, eggs, vanilla. That is it. If your carton lists more than 12 ingredients, and you see words like mono and diglycerides, polysorbate 80, cellulose gum, corn syrup, palm kernel oil, or artificial flavor. It is not crafted, it is engineered. If it reads like a chemistry textbook, put it back. The weight test. Pick up 2 containers of the same size, 1 cheap brand and 1 premium, real. Dense ice cream with low overrun feels noticeably heavier. If the container feels light for its size, you are holding a product that is mostly air. The heavier the container, the more actual cream is inside. Now here are the 3 brands that pass every test. These are the ones actually worth your money. Number 3, Haagen-Dazs. This is the gold standard. Haagen-Dazs. Vanilla bean contains exactly 5 ingredients. Cream, skim milk, cane sugar, egg yolks, vanilla extract. That is it. No gums, no stabilizers, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. You can see the ground vanilla bean specks in the ice cream. Cream and skim milk are always the first two ingredients listed. This is what ice cream is supposed to look like on a label. The brand was founded in 1960s New York by Polish immigrants Reuben and Rose Mattis. While the rest of the industry was racing to cut costs and mass produce, they went the opposite direction. They imagined an ice cream made with only the finest ingredients. They started with just 3 flavors: vanilla, chocolate, and coffee, and they never compromised. Today, Haagen-Dazs still uses no artificial colors or flavors across its core lineup. A pint runs about $6 to $7. Yes, it costs more than the fake stuff, but per gram of actual ice cream and not air, you are getting better value than a $3 container that is half air and half gum. Number 2, Tillamook. This is your value play, and the story behind it is incredible. In 1854, Oregon coastal dairy farmers built a schooner called the Morning Star to ship butter to Portland because the mountain roads were impassable. In 1909, 10 independent creameries each chipped in $10 to form the Tillamook County Creamery Association, a farmer-owned cooperative. That cooperative still exists today. Nearly 60 dairy farming families own the company. Profits go to farmers, not corporate shareholders. Their old-fashioned vanilla is made with cream, skim milk, sugar, pasteurized egg yolks, vanilla extract, and natural flavor. No high fructose corn syrup, no artificial flavors, no artificial colors, no preservatives, ever. They use extra cream and higher butterfat for an ultra creamy texture. The brand is a certified B Corp, and they were one of the first major dairy brands to ban growth hormones from their supply chain, overruling objections from Monsanto itself. A 1.5 quart tub runs about $5 to $8, making this the most affordable real cream ice cream on the market. You get significantly more product than a Haagen-Dazs pint with comparable ingredient quality. This is proof that honest ice cream does not have to cost $10 a pint. Number 1, Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams. If you want the absolute best, this is it. Milk and cream are the first 2 ingredients in every single dairy flavor Jenny's makes. Their sweet cream flavor is made with milk, cream, cane sugar, non-fat, milk, tapioca syrup, and sea salt. No artificial anything. The brand is a certified B Corp, sources milk from family dairies, and uses real ingredients for every flavor. Real strawberries, real honey, real vanilla beans. Founded in 2002 by Jenny Britton Bauer in Columbus, Ohio. She opened a single scoop shop with a mission to make artisanal ice cream with grass-fed milk and creative real ingredient flavors. The brand won a James Beard Award and has expanded to scoop shops across the country plus nationwide grocery distribution. A pint runs about $8 to $10. This is the most expensive on the list. But every ingredient is traceable, the quality is in a completely different league. And once you taste the difference between real cream and polysorbate 80, you cannot go back. Here's the bottom line. Your health is not a commodity for these corporations to optimize. Real ice cream exists. It does not need 20 ingredients and a chemistry degree to make. It needs cream, milk, sugar, and maybe some eggs and vanilla. That is it. The next time you reach into that freezer aisle, flip the container over. Read the fine print. Count the ingredients. Check if it says ice cream or frozen dairy dessert. Because now you know the difference. The food tell, because you have the right to know the truth. Subscribe because we audit the industry so you do not have to. And leave a comment below telling me what is in your freezer right now. I want to know.